Oh, I saw this study that said 60% of men report feeling lonely, but 71% of those men refuse to date because they don't want to give up their peace and or settle. So it's not that there are not men available. It's not that there are not good men available and good choices available, but those men have figured out life and now they're emotionally stable and they have boundaries and they don't want to just give up their peace just to have anybody. That's why I can't stress to you enough how important it is for you as a woman to be his peace. For you as a woman to not always be at war with that man. For that man to feel safe with you. For that man to want to come home to you. Because if he got to fight all day, why would he want to come home and fight too? Now men are choosing to stay single because they don't want to fight you.
I don't know, last time I checked, men don't give a about men's mental health.
It kind of makes you wonder who they checked with.
So I don't know why we're dogpiling a woman for not giving a that men are hijacking another month to call it their mental health month.
How can they be hijacking a month that is actually Men's Mental Health Month? It's almost like it's in writing out there somewhere.
Can we please, go outside and interact with real human beings for once? Be for real.
I have a question. So does that mean those that celebrate the fact that it's National PTSD Awareness Month, are they also hijacking another month? Or does that not make any sense either?
The only time I've seen men make think pieces about mental health is when it's in response to women talking about their mental health and their struggles. I don't give a
Let me be brutally honest. I highly doubt that there's a long line of individuals that are going to put a lot of weight in some individuals' actual opinions about that matter.
Have whatever month you have. I don't give a Work on it yourself, baby. We've been working on it ourselves all these years. You can do the same thing. You don't need to hold our hands.
How interesting. But despite the negative statements that some individuals make, gentlemen, I would like to remind you that there are quite a lot of men, as well as some good women out there, that really do care about your mental health.
Genuinely, what happened to the art of courting a woman? Way back when, there was a time that people would literally duel over a woman. Maybe this was just in the movies, but people would literally go to the girl's house with a speaker in hand, blaring, singing love songs.
Because if you were to be honest with yourself and you looked at yourself in the mirror, you would realize that you don't want to be courted by men because you don't positively reinforce that within them, and men are smart. They have realized this over time. If he is a man that goes out of his way and he puts his selfish needs or wants aside and he starts courting a woman that he thinks is wifey material, he is not appreciated for it. He's maybe even disrespected for it. He's probably either placed in the friend zone or he witnesses you going after the toxic man. That is not only not positive reinforcement, it is literal discouragement. You are discouraging men from doing these things. And I'm not saying that you should play along with a man that's doing these things simply because he's doing them, even though you're not maybe attracted to him or you don't see potential in him. But in those cases, you should not allow that man to court you. You should tell him very early on that it's a no-go, you're just not interested in that way. Stop friend zoning these men, because that is what ruins it for so many women that do actually want this.
This guy asked me out to dinner and I said, I wish I could, but I can't. And he said, why can't you? And I said, because my hands and my toes are not done and I feel very insecure about them. And he was like, well, I'll just pay for them. And then he sent me money to get them done. That's what I got. I went out to eat with this guy twice already. We're not dating. It's not a date. And he pissed me off last week. So now I'm going to drain his wallet in the form of sashimi and nigiri. Because I love sushi. I love it. And he's a really big foodie. He knows all the great restaurants in Orlando.
And then women wonder why men don't do these big acts of kindness, because the one time that he does, he learns his lesson. Because there are absolutely plenty of women like this out there that are master manipulators, and they'll have a guy thinking that she's actually interested in him and that he's taking her out on a date. But here she is prior to the date scheming and planning how to drain his wallet. And then she's claiming it's not even a date. She has zero interest in this man. So yeah, eventually, that man's gonna learn. And then he's never going to do it again for somebody else. And then all of you women are out here wondering why that is the case. Why it doesn't happen anymore. This is exactly why. It's not a man problem, okay? It's how you've treated him problem.
I know of two men who got into a big disagreement on the phone. And these men are like brothers. Big disagreements on the phone. Certain boundaries were crossed. The intentions were pure. No one meant to cross boundaries, but boundaries were crossed. I promise you, within an hour, called up each other. They're like, bro, forget it. I love you. And what did I tell you? This could never happen with women. I promise you, women don't know how to let go of this. I wish it was possible for women to reconcile with such ease and just to facilitate life for each other. No, hath no fury like a woman scorned. But you know what? They need to put an amendment to that. It's not hath no fury like a woman scorned just in romantic relationships, even by another woman. She will go to her grave wanting to see you fail.
And you gotta play hard to get because men love the chase. They actually don't anymore, okay? They are not the chase anymore, let me tell you.
That's because the men that you allow to chase you are the ones that you don't like. A lot of guys learned this through experience. There was a woman that they liked and they put a lot of effort into her, a lot of time, a lot of money. And then in the end, they ended up getting rejected, or some guys just got straight up played. Another reason you should never chase: when women really like you, they will let you know whatever energy and time and effort that you're putting into them, they will reciprocate it back to you. As a guy, most of the time, you just have to not say anything stupid or do anything stupid to up the attraction that she already has for you. Now, I do want to add that as men, sometimes y'all tend to chase women that you know are out of your league. So you put yourself in a position where you have to chase because you're trying to get something you've never had before.
So you gonna give it up to all the other men, but you gonna make your fiance wait?
Just another day in the office. View discretion is advised.
Yes. Yes. Why do you think he's my fiance? Because he doesn't guilt trip me. He doesn't cross my boundaries. He has self-control.
So you out here catching bodies, but you didn't want to sleep with none of those men. Like, it was never your idea. It was never your energy that fed into that interaction between you and that man. That's what you want us to believe. For the life of me, I would never understand how people can think they can be pro-choice, but not pro-responsibility. Ma'am, it is your responsibility to interact with people that don't cross your boundaries, that don't manipulate you, and that have self-control. Although we know you're cap, you're just saying that to avoid accountability, and it's apparent. However, I do have a few questions. At what point did you realize that these people were all those things? And if you did realize that, why did you give them the box? And if any of those things actually did happen, did you report any of it? Because what it seems to me is that you fell for the feminist movement about being liberated by having a whole bunch of sex, and you realize, oh, the movement is complete. And there's no coming back from it. I've given these men the best of me in the name of feminism, and the only way to make myself feel better about the bad decisions I've made, I'm going to say they manipulated me and took advantage of me. But back to the primary topic at hand. He's your fiance because he doesn't guilt trip you. He's your fiance because he doesn't cross your boundaries. He's also your fiance because he has self-control. Translation, I gave my body to the streets, and this was the only dumb enough to sign up for a program that's already been proven to not be stable, number one, and second, I know it is not in his best interest to continue forward with me. A program so one-sided that this man that I've committed to and he's committed to me will not get any box until the marriage is official, but all those random Tom and Harrys that never committed to me got the box. Who the is doing the math? I swear you just can't make it up. You can't. It's impossible. That's like me being a trick in the streets, and I'm a known trick, right? And then I get with a woman that I really like and I really want to be with. I commit to her and I'm like, hey, listen, before I start paying your bills and buying you everything like that, we got to be married first. You know what I'm saying? Because that means something to me. That woman will be well within her right to tell me to get her face because I'm playing with her. Because I really am. I'm a trick in the streets, but with you, I'm financially celibate at that point until we're married. Who in their right mind would ever take a deal like that? That literally makes no sense. And they will get on this very internet with their whole chest and say it so confidently, like the man that actually committed to her is getting a great deal. But to conclude, I will leave y'all with this. I will always respect a woman that's willing to wait for marriage before. But one thing I will never respect is a woman that's already given her body to the streets and now she's trying to revert back into that. It will never work that way. But you know what? I know she ain't gonna listen to shit I'm saying because I'm just a normal guy. Y'all keep changing. And I think there was a lady, I think she's a coach. She was making a good point. When a man goes silent, a lot of times, women aren't able to, a lot of these modern women aren't able to control the narrative. They're not able to control the conversation,
right? They can't, oh, well, I would have listened if you would have said it like this, or I would have responded if you treated me that way. If you bought me something from Chipotle, then I would have been happy to do X, Y, and Z. And it's all really, honestly and truly a bunch of nonsense, right? Now, being accountable for how you say things to people and how you behave, that's definitely huge. That's definitely a major thing. I had to apologize to my wife last night for a couple of things. I mean, you don't have to, but then it'll be good because you put yourself in that position. You say, if somebody would have, talked to me that way, because not everything is like a big dust up, right? Sometimes there's like little subtle things to where you're like, missed the mark on that. My bad. I'm sorry about that. And you're going to apologize. They might have forgotten about that and not made a big deal about it. Be accountable for that. Say, hey, my bad. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. Or, I know if somebody said that to me, then they would have made me feel this way. Even though nobody else would have seen it, then, there's a connection between us and I understand how you feel, right? So being accountable for that. But modern women, they take a different turn and they say, well, your tone is terrible. And it's like, oh, my bad for my tone. And you start talking, oh, no, see, you treat me like a child. You're talking too soft. All right. And then, the argument trails off into just your tone. And then it trails off into, this is what I'm saying. You never respect me. You never treat me with respect. That means you don't love me, And that's what I have with you. And all of a sudden, the problem shifts into what she's talking about and not on the actual issue. And she keeps doing that. But if a man is silent, now she got to think about, eventually when she gets done playing all these games, well, what did I do? Like, how did I show up? You know what I mean? Maybe there's something that I did wrong.
I truly mean this when I say this. If a woman doesn't respect a man, they need to let him go. Because where respect lies is where you can let a man lead you. Like, for instance, if I want to be led as a woman. In relationships, I'm more submissive. I have a strong personality, but I love the idea of a man leading me and a man like showing me and teaching me things. And that's what turns me on. That's what makes me feel good in my relationship. But I've been with men where I lose respect for them because I see them do corny or weird things that like are just like feminine or just, I don't trust it. And when I been with those type of men, I realize like, okay, I don't respect you and I don't trust you to lead me. Mm-hmm. And where women stay in those relationships and after a while, the man gets broken down in that relationship. And then that's when they start to say, oh, you're controlling me. You're doing this, you're doing that, because there's no respect there. And I feel like when a woman respects a man to lead, is when the relationship and the dynamics is balanced. You have to be with a woman who respects you, and a man has to be with a woman who gives that respect, period. If that's lacking in the relationship, it's not going to work, because then the gender roles are reversed and it's not a good look, period, point blank. So as a woman, if you don't respect a man, you need to leave him.
There are only 3 kinds of beings in this world that get loved automatically, and that's women, kids, and little puppies. Men, they do not get that luxury. Men are not loved unconditionally. They have to earn it, and let's be honest, that is not fair. From the moment a boy grows up, the message is clear. Your value is in what you provide. Your worth is in what you achieve. Your love is conditional. A man can be loyal, faithful, and good-hearted, but if he loses his job, if he can't provide, if he struggles, watch how quickly that so-called love disappears. Meanwhile, women, they're loved simply for existing. Kids, automatic love. Puppies, automatic love. But men, the very ones who build societies, who break their backs to provide, who carry the weight and responsibility, they are told that love has to be earned. That's not equality. That is not fair. Men get judged by their paychecks, their muscles, their status, their ability to produce and protect. And if they can't measure up, they're disposable. That's the harsh truth that nobody wants to admit. And here's the kicker. Women expect men to show up strong, stoic, protective, ambitious, but then in the same breath, talk about how love should be unconditional. No, not for men, not in this reality that we live in. It is not fair that men have to constantly prove their worth just to be worthy of love. And until we start acknowledging that, men will keep suffering in silence, carrying a burden nobody gives them credit for. So let me say it straight. Men deserve better. Men deserve to be loved, not just for what they do, but for who they are as a man.
Most men in this room and most online will tell you that all of their life, they have been the last thing to be considered. Everything comes before man. We even got statements like, ladies first, happy wife. And even parents teach their sons, let them go first. And so in every step of his life, he's always last. Women get in the club for free. Now we got to buy bottles at $1,500 a pop so all of the women can drink for free. Remember when I read the text didn't say we were made for y'all. The Bible says she was made for him. And by the way, if you go and look in the Old Testament, whenever a man and woman was married in the Old Testament, a woman stood at the altar and the man walked down the aisle. But now here comes, if you don't believe me, the church is the bride and Jesus is the groom. And the last I saw, the church is here waiting on the groom to come. So if you want us to love you like God loved the church, why are we always doing the waiting?
Can we talk about the fact that y'all hate most of the men that y'all raise? Can we talk about that? And the fact that the men that y'all raised never seems to date women that look or act like you? Is it because they saw the different men coming in and out the house and they were like, you know what? I know that that's what I do not want. Or is it because your standards start and end with money? You don't care about integrity, moral character, morals and values. You just care about money. And they don't like it. And not to mention how much you talk down on black men, even their fathers, right in front of them, as if they're not a black man or black up-and-coming man themselves. And it's sad because they get a front row seat to see how you act, to see how you behave, how you treat people. And it just looked like it's something that they're not interested in. And the sad part about all of this is these men use you for a barometer of what they don't want to wife. And this is why you guys are single and not wives. So maybe you guys should be a better example to your sons, and maybe they wouldn't think of you as the bottom of the barrel.
I don't know if y'all are familiar with the baby girl who decided to drop down and do a split and then began to slightly twerk, graduating from high school, and they told her that they were not giving her her high school diploma. And she basically is saying that she was, profiled, and why can't she get her diploma? I'm gonna show y'all what she did.
I start breaking. I don't know where to go, young, rich, lost, and famous. I'm in love with Miss Lady, but I just can't take it. Every day I've been praying, I become
just tacky, Then she goes on to say that she was wrongfully profiled. And for me, it's like it gets very difficult being a black woman and watching so many black women just not take accountability, watching so many black women just play victim. Black women love to try to make it like the world is against us, or, like we can't do anything, or everything we do is a big deal. And pretty sure in the comment section, you're going to see somebody say, well, the white girls do it and the white women do this. It's just not made a big deal. I don't think black women understand everything we do. We try to overdo. We overdo everything, and when it's not necessary. And for this baby to be graduating from high school and then saying, well, I told them I was going to do it, so they should have knew I wasn't playing, because if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And it's like, but why though? Why did you feel the need to do that? What type of attention were you looking for? You wanted a viral moment. Everything about this generation is based off likes, shares, attention, viral moments. But this is not really giving what you thought it was going to give, sweetheart. It was given very much tacky. It was given very much tasteless. And it's like, where is the class and the decorum? You come out doing a pretty little, you already pretty. You come out doing like a little wave, and then you bounce down. And that wasn't just a regular split. That was more like a, let me climb to the top of the pole and let me fall down and pop my booty up a couple times while I'm on the ground. Like, that was not. And then this is a high school graduation. These are people's families. There's grandmas, there's elders, there's your parents out there. Why would you want to do something like that in front of your people? And then you talking about they wouldn't give you your high school diploma. Man, if that had been something I done back when I was walking across the stage, not only would I have not gotten my high school diploma or lost my high school diploma, I would have lost the cap and gown too, because my mama would have been at the end of the stage waiting for me. She got escorted out. My mama would have dragged me out of there. Because shame was a thing back then. Y'all don't got no shame in y'all game. Y'all do too much. And I don't think y'all realize the stuff that y'all do it don't hit the way y'all think it do. It be looking so just tacky, man. I just don't be understanding why, when it comes to us black women, why do we feel like the only way for us to receive any type of an attention is from like our bodies. Everything is always overly with us and overly sexualized with us. The only way we know how to express ourselves is through our bodies. Why is that? I just need the young women of today to understand, man, presentation is everything. How you carry yourself is extremely important. A lot of y'all do things and then you don't realize there's consequences, and y'all don't realize that you will be judged for it. Y'all say things like, oh, you can't judge me, and no, it's God that's not going to judge you. But his children, they're very judgmental. And so you just got to be very mindful of how you're presenting yourself. Be very mindful of the way you're carrying yourself. Why is self-respect so boring to y'all? And I'm all for twerking if you with your girls. You know, you can get on a yacht, twerk, you know, hit you a girls trip, twerk. You got pajama day with your girls, twerk. You got the Galentine's, twerk. I mean, baby, I will definitely twerk when I'm with my homegirls. But it's a time and a place for everything. And I think the young generation, y'all lack knowing when's the time and when's the place for stuff. You know, there's a time and a place to go outside wearing bonnets without your face being washed and without your teeth being brushed. It's a time and a place to be on the phone extremely loud in public and everybody got to hear your conversation because I wish it's like a time and a place for all of that. And I don't know. It's like y'all be wanting attention so badly. And I think that y'all think y'all got to get it in a certain way. And it's usually in a very tacky way. So I just want young girls to be very aware.
And, you know, I'm looking at this clip of tonight's conversation once again, and I'm looking at the woman's, all of her outfit, and obviously we know, I think we all know what she's trying to do, right? You got your chest all out, your shirt, skirt is, or whatever dress, whatever you want to call it, is short, right? But then you start to look at the other parts of her outfit. You know, she look at her hair, her eyebrows are done, her makeup is done, doesn't look bad. She has, you know, a nice little watch on. It looks like an Apple Watch, but the band is replaced to be something that looks a little bit more expensive. And I saw her purse, it matches. I really wonder how much that cost. And I'm looking at her nails. So it's all about presentation. I'm cute, I'm sexy, but I'm also classy, right? I'm showing a little bit, but I'm not showing too much. And really what I'm trying to do is nab a rich, quote unquote, high value man. And what's happening is that these high value men are not checking for her. It's Chad and Tyrone. It's some of these guys that are looking for a one night stand. But I can tell you, if you're going out looking like that all of the time, you already know what type of attention you're getting. What you're trying to do is manifest and wield somebody else's attention in a certain way. And you're only presenting a certain way, so they're only seeing you a certain way.
Something I'm starting to notice is a lot of women are starting to debate against what us men are talking about when it comes to soft guy era. A lot of women are coming with logic to our video saying, hey, this might not work out. You might not find the person that you're looking for when you live in your soft guy era. Well, first off, we didn't ask for your unsolicited advice. We didn't ask for your opinion. We came to the internet with our feelings and our emotions. If it doesn't make sense to you, that's okay. Maybe you're just too broke to understand. If I wanted your opinion, I would have asked, but I understand that I came to a public app where people can respond to my video with their opinion. But if I didn't ask you, why are you sitting up there making a video about it, even if it is logical? What needs to be understood is this is the time of us being equal. Everything is about equal, but yet some of you are getting upset saying men are stealing things from you. We're equal. We're sharing. That's what us equal folks do. It's not about one is better than the other or one can't do this and the other can. If we're equal, we can share and we can do everything the same because we're equal. We're the same. But please understand, y'all's unsolicited opinions, even though they might be logical, this is my life. These are my feelings. I understand you might want the best for me, but I'm gonna live in my world and do what I want because this is my life and I don't care about anything else or anybody else.
Ladies, just because a man tells you you cannot come to his house does not mean he has a wife, does not mean he has a girlfriend. It just means that he values his peace and his safety over your cunt. You women tell men the exact same thing for whatever your reason is. You don't want men to come to your house. That's fine. But when a man tells you no, it means automatically he has a woman or a girlfriend. But men don't say, hey, you must have a man and you must have a husband because you won't let a man come over to your house. But some of you, your ego is so high that you think that all men are just supposed to say yes. Listen, most men will say yes that actually have a house. Most men will say yes, and they will be so excited to have you walk through the door because they know if you as a woman are going to come to their house, you're probably going to smash. However, some men out here, some high-level men, value their peace and their safety and their reputation in their community and are not willing to risk whoever you are to come to their home until they get to know you far more. Now, are there some men that probably have a woman at home? Absolutely. Some of them probably do. But there are some that don't. And I would highly encourage most of you men out here to just don't let just any woman into your house because some of these are crazy.
It's the last remaining feminist taboo. I got a lot of women paying alimony these days. I mean, women marry the handsome musician who's not successful or the artist, there's a lot, it hasn't been, there's been a significant effort in our culture in the last decade, if anyone didn't notice, to improve the situation of women. If you have an equally qualified man and an equally qualified woman, the woman's the diversity hire, the man's not. So I have a lot of women who when they get told oh yeah, no, you gotta give him half your or oh no, you gotta pay alimony because he makes $50,000 a year and you make $250,000. And they're like, they could be the staunchest feminist in the world. And when you tell them they gotta pay alimony, they're like, whoa, he's a man. He's got a strong back. He can get out there and work. And then suddenly the whole gender is a construct and there's no such thing. That goes right out the window when you get told you got to pay alimony. That's nope, no. I believe in strict gender roles. Men should pay alimony. Women, even if you earn 10 times, you should not have to pay alimony. I've had very, very staunchly feminist clients who changed their mind about how feminist they were when they got told that they were going to have to pay alimony.
23 years later and married, I am in the roommate phase. And I feel like I have just completely given up. I don't even feel like I'm worth it anymore. I just go to work, come home, do nothing else. Twice in 7 months, 21 years together, message received, roommate situation in full effect. 6 to 7 years with nothing. I feel like a task that has been checked off the to-do list. Ladies, these are real men commenting on my videos about what is going on in their relationship. How is that even fair to good men? How is that even, if we were in the situation that they were in, we would 100% file for divorce immediately because we're not going to stand for somebody making us feel like we're less than, right? So why is it okay that we continue to put men in these positions and continue to make men feel less than? These men are busting their ass for their wives, for their family. They're showing up. They're doing the things. Of course, they're probably disconnected at this point. 6 to 7 years with nothing. Are you kidding me? A little appreciation, affection, and some bedroom activities goes a long freaking way with these men. And you keep pushing them and putting them in a corner where you don't love them, you don't appreciate them. You're just riding off the coattail of their paychecks. Because why else are you with them? Why else are you staying with a man that you don't want to actually have a relationship with? For convenience, that is why. Do better. We have to do better. Because that's not fair to men in society.
Were you ever with a guy where you broke all of your rules for?
I suppose when I was in my 20s, I broke more of my rules.
I feel like when I was in my early 20s,
yo rompo todo. I break everything.
Fair enough. What about you, Kai?
Yes.
What did he do?
Oh, he was just over 6 foot, so he got away with a little bit.
Oh.
What about you, Ciara?
Yeah, when I was young. Yes, I have.
Basically, all of you ladies answer yes, that you were with men that you broke your rules for, which would imply that you were with men that you didn't break your rules for. So from a man's perspective, well, which man would I want to be with you? I want to be the guy that you break all your rules for, not the guy that you make rules for. And girls always compartmentalize men. They put them in certain compartments where it's the chads that they'll break the rules for, but then there's the regular guys where it's like they got multiple rules. Oh, you didn't meet the height requirement? Yeah, I got more rules for you. Oh, you didn't meet the income requirement? I got extra rules for you. So it's like we don't want to find ourselves in that position, so we'll rather take the woman that experienced less.
I guess I missed this part in my personal training certification. Make sure to show people how to pull up their leggings before working out. So that was my video that went viral. And there were hundreds of comments saying, but it's normal to pull up your leggings, and this is a normal habit. Now, I won't argue with you that it's a normal habit to pull up your leggings, but it's not normal to film yourself doing that and then post it online. This is not just a habit that just so happened to be caught on camera. It is done so intentionally. It's the lengths these trainers go through of setting up their camera and tripod, pressing record, then making sure they're all centered in frame. Turning around, then picking up their leggings, essentially giving themselves a wedgie or purposefully jiggling their glutes to flex or show off their body. And it doesn't stop there. After they're done filming and working out at the gym, they go to edit their educational and inspirational workout video. They purposely clip this moment of pulling up their leggings, sometimes even zoom in and put it at the beginning of their video as a hook to get you to watch. Sometimes it takes a whole 5 seconds of pulling up leggings before we even get to see a single part of the workout. What we don't see is them picking up their dumbbells, getting into position, or all of their reps. You know, the unnecessary stuff. Don't make excuses for these girls. These are professional content creators. If they know how to delete a clip of the other unnecessary stuff, they know how to delete a clip of them pulling up their leggings. This is intentionally filmed and edited. At the end of the day, this is inappropriate. Instagram trainers, be honest. You're either doing this to tap into your followers' insecurities, or you're doing it for your own likes to get your comment section full of heart eye emojis, fire emojis, and hashtag body goals. It doesn't add value to anyone but you.
You know, once again, you know, modern women are bold with the types of things that they're asking and the types of things that they're doing. They know they have no business doing it, but once again, they think they're special. They think that whatever they have going on is, it's, you know, what I have to offer is better than you're ever going to get, right? So if I come to you, you cheat on your wife with me, I'm expecting you to leave. I want to be with a certain man, she said. So instead of going out there and building that man, I'd rather go out there and steal that man. Very common. It's very common amongst modern women. They try to say how great they are. They go to therapy. They are going to therapy because everybody else is going to therapy. My girls are going to therapy. Mama told me to go to therapy. I went to church. I talked to my pastor. Pastor said, you know, I'm going to give you counseling, right? But I think there are some deeper issues that maybe I don't have the expertise to handle. So after talking with First Lady, I would suggest that, you know, we could continue our counseling sessions, but I would suggest personally, you might get some professional help. Somebody who's an expert. And so they go because somebody else is telling them to, but they're not really learning anything.
One reason why the chosen man should remain single is because women don't want a real relationship with the anointed man, with the man on his purpose, with the man that has things coming to him frequently, freely, and abundantly. They just want validation to say that they were with this successful, anointed man. They will tell their friends, hey, you know, I had him for the day. I had him for a shorter period of time just to boost their ego. But they don't really want longevity with the anointed because they understand that their light is diminished when the chosen presence is around them because they are not prioritized. They're not put first. They're not raised on a pedestal as if they're some princess. They're actually treated with logic and, with reason. But chosen men, subconsciously, we understand this because purpose comes first. And when a woman is not prioritized and put second after purpose, we then get resentment. So it's best to just remain on your purpose and go as far as you can on that divine alignment. Then a woman who realizes and recognizes your value and that you have fulfilled your purpose will then come in with respect and actually honor what you have built. Stay chosen.
Sometimes men disappear because they feel like their effort is not being reciprocated. A lot of women feel like their approach to dating is, you as a man have to prove to me you are worthy of my time, my energy, and me being more vulnerable to you. And because of what you've been through, you think that's the right way to do it. But unfortunately, when you're dealing with a man who's actually serious and he's seeing you're holding back, you got walls up, he has concerns that you're wasting his time. So now he falls off because he's like, all right, she's tripping, she's not really making any effort. But because there's still a desire there, because he still likes her, I think the comment, the like, is a temperature check. Let me see how she'll respond. Let me see if I can still reignite something here. But it all stemmed from, are we actually making a mutual effort to get to know each other? Okay. So just make sure, before you start throwing all kinds of accusations at the man, ask yourself, was I coming correct in this process or not?
There's also way more women on Earth than there are men. So some of us gonna have to choose to not have one. There's like 3 women to each man. So that's why it's very hard for a man to be faithful. That's why usually when you meet a man, he's either fresh out of a relationship. Like, men are never really fully single. Like, and then a lot of us don't want a lot of them too. So that's even less men. Now we're choosing from the ones that are attractive or they got a good job, or you're gonna have to choose somebody you don't really like. So that leaves even less men. So now women are competing for like these select few men, and that's why a lot of men cheat. It's so many to choose from. You always hear that like men don't have options, but at the same time, I'm always hearing like the ugliest dude ever. Like, oh, he cheated on me with like, and it's like 2 girls that are so beautiful, and it's like, how is this happening? It's happening every day because female desperation is a thing too. Like, when you've been alone for a long time and like you haven't learned how to love on yourself as a woman, sometimes you just start to accept a lot less, like just for love. That's why you gotta, when you're alone, you have to be cultivating yourself, or you're gonna go for like whatever.
A lot of men aren't leaving the US to find a wife because they're passport bros. They're leaving because of what they're finding when they get there. Women in other countries were raised completely differently than women in the Western world. Most had mothers and grandmothers who taught them how to cook, how to care for a home, and how to honor a man. Nobody told them, never trust a man, or nobody taught them to compete with men instead of compliment them. So when a man shows up ready to provide, ready to protect for a foreign woman, a lot of them are very open to receive that. A lot of foreign women actually appreciate it. That's not a low value woman. That's a woman who was never taught to see her femininity as weakness. And look at what that produces. Many other countries that still hold family as the highest value, not career, not independence, not self-love journeys, actually have higher happiness indexes, higher birth rates, and more stable homes. Because when you ingrain in a culture that family is the priority, people actually build families.
Where are all the good men? Where are all the good men? They're in your friend zone. That's where they are. And I know I'm the one that said men should stop about the friend zone, and they should. But ladies, let's not act like you don't know you put them there, because you did. And the irony is that man wanted to be your man. He did everything you said men don't do, only for him to end up like a brother to you. Only for you to complain to him that men aren't doing what he did to have you. And think about it. You already compare men to him. Whoever you told, I wish I had a guy just like you. You're going to make a girl so happy one day. Why can't more guys be like you? That's your man. How is he the standard of what you want, but he's not your man? How is he the standard of what you want to do, but he's not yours? How does that even make sense? You know what I'm saying? And think about it. You've been friends for 8 years. You've never had an issue with him. He comes through for you 90% of the time, and y'all like all the same. That's your man. Go call that man, apologize, and his brains out. He deserves it.
This simp culture that got women acting the way they act. So even though we get on the women, you know, we make them take their accountability, we got to make men take accountability too. Because I see it. I see the homegirls DM. They showing me niggas they never met.
And they're going crazy.
Never met. I'm talking about Cash App. Here go 500, beautiful. Go get your nails and hairs done. Never met this woman. Hey, daddy, I broke my phone. $1,000. Go get a new one. I'm reading the DM. Hey, I'm ready to fly you out, take you shot. Knowing he's not finna either. Like they doing this. Someone is online talking the way they talk. Believe it. It's a simp out there validating what they're saying and really giving these money. So a regular guy don't stand a chance. This is in Timbuktu, Cash App and her $1,500 for nothing. Just for the conversation.
You want to know why men don't speak? Because every single time he does, every single time he speaks about his emotions, every single time he talks to you about his day, every single time he tells you anything that's going on with him, he ends up having to apologize for what he said. He ends up looking after the people that he was speaking to, and he ends up having to tell you that whatever he said wasn't meant in a bad way. That he wasn't trying to start an argument, that he wasn't belittling you and putting you down. That he wasn't trying to say that you were a bad mom or a bad wife or a bad girlfriend. Every single time he tries to explain to you that just because his phone is going off does not mean he's cheating on you, he must be cheating on you. This man literally cannot win. No matter what he does, it's going to be wrong. So men have learned to live in silence and fight battles you can't even imagine or handle because it is simply just easier.
Never trust a woman who does this. I don't care how much she likes you. I don't care how much you guys get along. The moment she does this, it's done. Because this is the most disrespectful thing. Never trust a woman that just disappears with no explanation, that just ghosts you. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the reason goes a lot deeper than you think. The woman that goes ghost doesn't respect you. I don't care how difficult life gets. I don't care how interested or uninterested they are in you. It is human decency to let another person know what's going on. But here's the mistake most men make, and you're probably making this same mistake. Listen closely. The mistake is you are too forgiving. She ghosts you, comes back, says a few nice things, and you're okay with it. No, she ghosted you and came back not because she missed you. She ghosted you and came back because the man she really wanted didn't want her back. And listen, I don't care what anybody says. Ghosting is a manipulation technique. As a matter of fact, there are 5 manipulation techniques that women use. She's probably even using one on you right now, and you don't even realize it. So listen, in my course, I explain the 5 things you need to do so that you can be prepared and know when these things are happening to you so that they never happen again. I explain exactly why people do these things and how to avoid them before they happen to you. And remember, it's all in my course. It's just a matter of whether or not you're ready to face the truth. If you want to find the answers, just go into the link in bio here and click coaching. See you over there.
And I'm really glad James Sexton said what he said about marriage. You have, and I didn't really calculate it like that, but that's what I'm thinking, right? It's another, so you're telling me I have to go through and I have to court. I have to court women. I have to do all of these things. I have to buy you this, and this. And then I have to go into the advanced phase of courting, where now we have to have the engagement dinner, the wedding, the wedding shower, the honeymoon, you have like a bachelor or a bachelorette party, and there's probably some other thing that they're doing that's not listed in there. When I say probably, I mean there are other things that they're doing that's not listed in there. Give me this, do that for me. And it's a spectacle. I understand celebrating. Look, I just got engaged, but oh, I want my nails to be done. Listen, I understand all of that, but we've gotten so spoiled to the point that everything has to be perfect. Why are you worried about people and what they care about your nails? I mean, if you're so worried about your nails should be done all the time. You're not going to be breaking them on a regular basis, on a consistent basis. So it's likely that they're going to be all right if you're maintaining yourself. But modern women, they worry about too much other stuff that does not matter.